Hi there students, welcome back to Math It Is, and in today's video it's going to be very short and I am going to introduce you to coordinate geometry. Okay, and in this video specifically I'll be taking up the basics of the Cartesian plane. Now, what is coordinate geometry? It basically tells us the coordinates or the location of any point object, okay, any point in math. And we know point is the base of the entire math and the entire world or universe, I can say. Okay, so coordinate geometry basically tells us the coordinates. It gives us the coordinates or the location of any point, using which we work further to other extended knowledge. Okay, like we extend it to lines, then to plane shapes, and then to solid shapes, and so on. So let us quickly move on to the basics of Cartesian plane. So students, what you see here is a Cartesian plane. Okay, I have kept it slightly colored so that you can easily see it. So Cartesian plane is used to give us the coordinates or the location of any point in two dimensions. Okay, so we start first with two dimensions, 2D. Okay, where we have the two dimensions, we can imagine them as length and breadth only, no thickness. Okay, so it looks somewhat like this, where you have a horizontal axis and a vertical axis. Now the horizontal axis is called as the x-axis. Okay, it is the x-axis. So let me name this as x-axis, and we always have line here, so you can relate this to a number line. Okay, and this is x negative. Similarly, the vertical line is the y-axis. Okay, negative y, it's denoted like this. And the point where both the x and y axis meet is called the origin. O is the origin. Okay, it's usually denoted by the capital letter O, and every point on the Cartesian plane has unique coordinates. Okay, so if you can see, the both the x-axis and the y-axis can extend indefinitely in the two directions, horizontally and vertically. Okay, and every point, as you have studied before and you can understand also, has a unique location. So if we are trying to represent any point or think of any point on this plane, then it will have its unique location or unique address, you may say. Okay, so here if you see, the x-axis and the y-axis, the x and the y, divide the entire Cartesian plane into four regions. Okay, and since they are four, and we can understand them as equal because you can always have equal parts on either side. Okay, either of the four directions. So each part is called a quadrant. Remember the word quarter? So it's similar to quarter, four parts. So each part is called a quadrant, and there is a numbering system for the quadrants. The first quadrant is this one. It is denoted by the Roman numeral 1. Okay, so here in the first quadrant, any point will have a positive x and a positive y. Okay, and we always try to write the x coordinate first and put put a comma and write the y coordinate next. This is to have a common convention throughout. So any part of the world anyone would like to describe a point, for example this particular point, then it will have the same address or location. So for example, for this particular point the address will be 4 comma 3. Okay, always the x coordinate first followed by the y coordinate. I'm sorry, here this is positive y. Okay, now we move on in the anti-clockwise direction. This is my second quadrant, and if you can see in the second quadrant the x coordinate is negative. So x is negative and the y coordinate is positive. So every point that lies in this coordinate will always have address of this form. Coming down, this is my third quadrant where you have x also negative and y also negative. And finally we reach the fourth quadrant. These are all denoted by the Roman numerals. This is the Roman numeral 4. Here I have, if you can see, we have come to the positive part of x-axis. Okay, so it will have positive x but negative y. So this is how any point on the Cartesian plane will have the coordinates. Okay, and this form of writing the address within brackets like x and y is called the ordered form. Ordered form. Okay, now any point, its x coordinate is called the abscissa. Abscissa and the y coordinate is called the ordinate. These are all just small tips, basics of the Cartesian plane. I'm sorry. So going back, what will be the coordinates of the origin? The coordinates of the origin will always be 0, 0. Okay, so this is how the Cartesian plane looks like. Now to give you more examples, let me move on to an interactive board. So what you see here is an interactive board. So if I want to, for example, find the coordinates of a point somewhere here, okay, then what I can do is just go to my let me explore this point. Okay, so if I want to say this particular point, then you can see this is the point B, and what will be its coordinates? The coordinates of this point B will be 3, 4. And what will be the coordinates of this particular point C? It will be -5 and 3. Okay, then let me come back to this particular point. This will be -9 and -3. And also one more point, say this one E, it will have coordinates 2 and -2. Now as you can see, as I was pressing, the points were coming with letters, okay, and the letters are in capital. So this is again another convention that we always denote points by capital letters, which you have learned in your previous classes also, before also. Okay, so this is how. Let me go back to my basics of the Cartesian plane. You have the horizontal axis is the x-axis, vertical is the y-axis. Both of them meet at the point which is called the origin. To the right of origin is always positive, left of origin is negative, up is positive, down is negative. The Cartesian plane, the two axes divide the entire plane into four quadrants. Starting from the right top, it's the quadrant 1 where both x and y are positive. Moving in anti-clockwise direction, quadrant 2, x is negative, y is positive. Coming down, left down, it is negative x, negative y, and the fourth quadrant is positive x and negative y. Okay, and this is how we denote the address or the coordinates, which is called the ordered pair, where we write the common brackets, put always the x coordinate first, followed by a y coordinate, and with a comma in between. It's called the ordered form. For any point, the x coordinate is called the abscissa and the y coordinate is called the ordinate. And the coordinates of the origin are always 0, 0. Hope these basics are clear to everyone. In my next video, I am going to take up some special equations of lines using the Cartesian plane. So we start with the coordinate geometry concept. So please follow my videos, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe my channel and like and press the bell icons. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video.